Hey guys, it's Megan. So today I have another 5 ways to fill your sketchbook video for you guys. Make sure to stay till the end of the video for a mini sketchbook tour. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So the first idea that I have for you guys is to create a music playlist and then to create an illustration to go with that music playlist. So for this music playlist, I decided to make a birthday playlist. So I gathered together a bunch of songs that either were about birthdays or reminded me of your birthday, and then I drew a birthday cake on top with a banner behind it. And the birthday cake was inspired by Draw So Cute. She did a birthday cake tutorial, so I'll link that down below. I just left off the face because I wanted it to be plain. And so here's the music playlist that I came up with. You can pause it if you want to read it, but I really like how this turned out. It's really simple, and I think that it's fun to do something besides drawing in your sketchbook once in a while. The next idea that I have for you guys is this watercolor circle art. So first you're going to want to take something that is shaped like a circle. I took this roll of duct tape and just trace circles all over your paper. And then you're going to want to fill in some of the spaces with some patterns. And I'm really sorry about my head kind of being in the frame for some of this. I can only chalk it up to having really bad eyesight and these patterns being really small. And once you've filled in the patterns, you're going to want to fill some of the circles in with watercolor. I filled in some of the circles with a solid wash of watercolor, and for some of them I made little patterns in them, like some stripes and some dots and some like crisscross strokes. And if you don't have watercolor, no worries, just use some acrylic paint or some markers or really anything that you have to fill in the circles. And once the watercolor had dried, I went back in with my Micron pen and I filled in some more patterns over the watercolor. And here's how the finished piece turned out. It's a lot more abstract than what I usually go for, but I kind of like it. The next idea is this hand optical illusion art. So first you're going to want to trace your hand with a pencil onto a piece of paper. Next, take a ruler and mark every 1/4 inch up the side of the page. Do this on both sides of the page. Then, using a ruler, draw lines to connect the marks. Make sure not to go through the hand when you're drawing the lines. Then, draw curves inside of the hand that connect the lines like this. And then, color in all of the lines. This next part is optional, but I thought that it made the hand stand out more and defined it. I shaded around the outside of the hand with a pencil. And here's how the finished piece turned out. For my first time doing optical illusion art, I don't think that it turned out that bad. I mean, it always could have been better, but you know, I tried. This next idea is also really easy, and it is this color block art. I've seen a few people do this using watercolors, but as you kind of saw with the last watercolor project, I'm not really that good at using watercolors. So I decided to draw out some squares with my Winsor & Newton Pro markers and then color them in. Once I had drawn all the squares, I filled them in with different patterns. And you can look on Pinterest to find different patterns to do, but I just did like some swirls and some stripes and some dots and all kinds of different things. And here's how the finished piece turned out. Again, it's a lot more abstract than what I usually go for, but I kind of like it, and it's really nice and like mindless just to doodle different patterns in the squares. So the last idea that I have for you guys is to draw out instructions. So I decided to draw out instructions for the last 3 art projects that I did. So the first one was the watercolor circle art, but I didn't fill them in with watercolor, I just used my markers. And then I did the 3D hand art. And lastly, I did the color block art. And I really love how this turned out. I don't know, I just really love little instructions like this. So those were all of the sketchbook ideas that I have for you guys today, and now moving on to the sketchbook tour. Now, the story behind this is that I was going to do a trying to fill a sketchbook in 1 week challenge, but then I realized that that's pretty much impossible for me. I tried so hard, but I was just stressing myself out so much that it was not worth it. So I did do a bunch of extra drawings this week, and I figured that I'd still show them to you guys anyways. So first I decided to draw Sia from her new album, and I drew this using a tutorial from Draw So Cute. Next, I decided to draw some Starbucks drinks with some recipes. I found these recipes on Pinterest, and I have never tried any of them before, so if you guys pause the video and try it, let me know if they're good or not. Next, I decided to draw these really simple girls doing yoga, and even though this drawing is super simple, I really like it. Next, I decided to draw these cactuses and to show you how to draw them on the bottom. This was inspired by somebody on Instagram. Then I decided to use an idea from one of my older videos, which was to pick a food and turn it into a character, and this time I chose to turn peanut butter and jelly into characters. After that, I decided to draw this sugar skull, which I drew using a tutorial from Art for Kids Hub. I also drew these girls that are wearing sweatshirts that I cut out from magazines. This was also an idea in one of my previous videos. This one was also an idea from a previous video, and that was to draw my cat wearing different Halloween costumes. So for this one, I drew her as Wednesday Addams, Beetlejuice, 11 from Stranger Things, a pumpkin, a bat, and a devil. This next drawing I really like, and I really want to make these into stickers. They're these band-aids and they say things on them like, I'm fine, I feel fantastic, and life is great, but then when you turn them around, they say something completely different. And then I decided to redraw this girl that I drew during the highlighter challenge, and I don't have a name for her, so if you guys can think of a name for her, comment it down below. And I also just realized that I forgot to add the highlights to her eyes, so I'll have to go back in and do that. This drawing is another tutorial from Draw So Cute, and this time, since it was a really easy tutorial, I decided to break it down into steps on the bottom. I think it would be really fun to make drawing tutorials. If you guys want me to make any, comment it down below and comment what you want me to teach you how to draw. These next two drawings are unfinished, so if you want to see the finished version, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It is @WellerMegs. So the first drawing is this girl that's sitting on the moon and reading a book, and this one I didn't use a reference for, which is why it is so bad. And the last drawing that I decided to do was of JoJo Siwa, and this is in the style of her new cartoon series that she's coming out with. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, especially the little extra section at the end, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and as always, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one, and make sure to follow me on Instagram. It is @WellerMegs, and yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!